Good evening, everyone. It's so nice to see a full house at our school board meeting this evening. I know why. And welcome all of you. Could I please, before we get started with our special guest to do the flag salute, I need to let you know that this meeting's being televised and recorded for the transcription of the minutes. At this time, speakers wishing to address the board this evening should turn in the completed speaker card to our board secretary. And that being said, I'd love to have Jackson Finn come up for the flag salute.
All right, here, why don't you stand up here?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job.
Okay, Karen Finn is not able to, Trustee Chin is not able to join us this evening, so I'm going to ask our Vice President, Trustee Musa, do you have a report on action taken in closed session?
No action was taken in closed session.
Thank you. Okay, we need the approval of the agenda for October 1st, 2024. Can I have a motion to approve? So moved. Second. Great. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Great. Okay, so we already mentioned that speakers wishing to address the board on items on the agenda may complete the speakers cards and submit them to the board secretary. Speakers addressing specific items on the agenda will have the opportunity to address the board at the time of the agenda item in the meeting. If you're addressing the board on a non-agenda item, please be aware that the provisions of the Brown Act prohibit the board from acting or discussing such matters at this meeting. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes per person per topic and 20 minutes per agenda item. Okay, do we have anyone from the Millbrae Education Fund joining us this evening? Okay, seeing no one, how about the Millbrae Education Association, MEA? The Classified School Employee Association, CSEA? Okay, and any loose members of the community? No, great. Okay, the reason you're all here is our school spotlight. Principal Hwee, will you please come up to the microphone?
Thank you. Jeff, it worked. Nice. Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out. Good evening to our esteemed board members, also to our district office members and cabinet, and Superintendent Hickey. Thank you so much for having us tonight. So the focus of our 24-25 school year is on relationships and reading. So when I first joined the Millbrae School District, I firmly believe that relationships is the foundation to everything we do in education and at school. And to tie it in, I truly believe that reading is also the foundation of all academics in order for a child to be successful. So starting last year, and then what we continue to do, is we are doing Harper for Kids, which is a Book of the Month character trait program based off of the Pyramid of Success. Every single month, I read a book to all the classrooms based on a character trait for the month. So for example, the month of September, we focused on hard work and enthusiasm. I read a book called Jabari Tries. Jabari Tries is about a story about a child who tries to build a rocket out of his backyard. Through many attempts, he gets help by his dad and his sister and learns the important lesson of hard work and enthusiasm. After every single time I read a book, we have a class-wide discussion of what hard work and enthusiasm means to each child. Then they post posters on the hallway with their own meaning of what hard work and enthusiasm means. This upcoming month, we will be reading Grumpy Corn And this month's theme is friendship and loyalty. So we just started this month. We will be reading this. A quick summary of the book is about a unicorn that tries to go to find a unicorn planet and along the way meets other friends. So in order to tie in both reading and relationships, every school needs a library. So when I first joined Spring Valley, our library had to close for a second in the midst of what was happening with the pandemic. And so it became a little bit of a satellite clinic. Once we were able to reopen our doors at the school, what we did was want to focus on a refresh and create an environment for all students to come and enjoy the library and read again. So with the help of the PTA and PCBA, we reached out and our community came together to first open up our library, but we first had to do a library refresh. So I'd like to first invite up our first speaker, Andrew General Lau, to talk about our library refresh.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, so it was really exciting to do this project, mainly because I think a library to me, I just remember growing up and how important that was in my childhood. So I really wanted to, we kind of took a lot of the elements that we already had existing. So this was a really kind of a scrappy way to do this. What we wanted to do is just create little elements of places where kids could work, where they could have some more visual interaction. So what we did is these actually, you can see right here on the left, these are old computer tables that had, they flip up and they have the cables underneath that they don't even exist anymore with laptops nowadays. So what we did is we just took off the top and refinished them with new tops, and so we kind of repurposed a lot of things. So taking some of the money from PTA that donated to do this, we were able to build new tabletops. We added the stools you can see on the side there, and then it really just was able to allow for now 30 kids to be able to sit and do projects, have reading, whatever we want it to be now. It's now like a working space, whereas before it was just kind of just scrapped together. And then you can't really tell, and I apologize on the pictures, but the cork board right there you can see, and then I'm gonna flip to the next. We were able to create a dry erase wall on this side. You can see now where the tables are all finished in the middle there. We even had the Girl Scouts come and help do a Lego wall, so they can actually kind of do some interactive things with that. Miss Yee's actually here tonight, Deanna Yee from Spring Valley, was gracious enough to get her class to do a canvas painting with all the kids doing a thumbprint kind of thing, just to add more energy to it. It's still a work in progress. We still have a lot more to do, but I think this is a really great start because now it's a place that kids actually want to come to. And so that's where we're going to hand it off to the next speaker.
Thank you, Andrew. So I'd like to call up our first student speaker, Philip Trefon. He's going to be sharing his favorite book from Spring Valley.
Good evening. My name is Philip Trefon. I'm in 5th grade at Spring Valley Elementary School. I'd like to talk to you about one particular book I read on campus, All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. The novel is set during World War II. It revolves around the characters Marie-Laure Leblanc, a blind French girl, and Werner Fenning, a bright German boy who's accepted into military school because of his skills in radio technology. The book alternates between paralleling chapters depicting Marie-Laure and Werner. In June 1940, when Marie-Laure was 12 years old, the threat of a German occupation of Paris grew too great to ignore. She and her father fled from Paris to St. Malo to live with her great-uncle. Meanwhile, Werner is sent to the military camp of Schlipforte to train to become a soldier. Their paths cross, and Werner saves Marie-Laure from the bombing of St. Malo, though they're on opposing sides. The reason I chose this book is because Doerr creates beautiful and wholesome characters, along with an intricate plotline and well-developed metaphors. Also, the book gives us hope and displays that, even in the darkest of times, humans remember their humanity.
Thank you, Philip. So I'd like to invite up our next speaker, Erica Yu. She is a parent who has started to organize our library read-alouds. We started slowly in the spring, and now we've restarted it again for this upcoming school year. So I'd like to invite up Erica.
Hi, my name is Erica Yu, and I'm a parent at Spring Valley Elementary. My son Alex is in Ms. Dokos' third grade class. I also volunteer with the PTA and help with story and reading time in our newly restored library. As you can see, Drew and the other parents did such a wonderful job beautifying our library, making it a clean and inviting place for our students. But the reality is for the students to fully utilize the library, we need volunteers to help maintain and upkeep the space. We need volunteers to help continue organizing the books by subject matter and AR reading level. We also want to show the books some love by refurbishing and rebinding the more well-worn volumes. If this sounds worthwhile to you, I would love for you to contact me at volunteer@springvalleypta.org. Starting in the spring of last year and continuing into this year, each class has been visiting the library for story time and silent reading for 30 minutes per week. This has been a coordinated effort with Ms. Dokos and the other teachers. And even though our students get reading time in the classrooms, providing library time allows them to explore new and different books. Being able to share a story with our students is really an honor, and if you would like this privilege and you have a book that you love and want to share, again, please email me. I'm sure the children would love to see parents and board members and other adults such as yourselves who show interest in their learning and our humble library. We're also taking donations of any new books. And lastly, I'd like to share an exciting partnership that we have established with San Mateo County Library. Marcia Lee, a librarian at the Millbrae Library, will be bringing in a wall full of books to Spring Valley on loan from the SMC libraries. We plan to rotate the books once a month, which will help expose our students to different genres and authors and enrich our young reading community. This is an exciting future, and I'd like to thank Drew for the library refresh, Mr. Hwee, Ms. Dokos, and our beloved teachers, and of course, Marcia and the SMC libraries for their collaboration and support of this initiative. Thank you, and I hope you volunteer.
Thank you, Erica. Just remember, our library is located at 817 Murchison, so if you need directions, we will give it to you. All right. So our last student speaker is Michaela Hom. She will be sharing her favorite book at Spring Valley.
Hi, my name is Michaela Hom. I am from Spring Valley and in Miss Fogan's 5th grade class. My favorite book that I've read as a class at Spring Valley is Island of the Blue Dolphins by Scott Odell. The book is based on the true story of Juana Maria, a Nicoleno Native American who was left alone on San Nicolas Island, which is off the coast of Southern California, in the 19th century. The story is centered around a girl named Corona who encounters a group called the Aleuts that come to the Island of the Blue Dolphins, and Corona's father, Chief Chadwick, meets the Aleuts' leader and makes a deal to allow the Aleuts to hunt on the island only if they give valuable items to Chadwick once they are finished. When the Aleuts finish, they don't give Chadwick his items and war breaks out. Corona tries to save her little brother Ramo and is abandoned by her tribe. But Corona finds solace among the animals of the island. She learns how to survive and how to care for the world she lives in. I like this book because it shows Corona's independence and courage, but also has a lot of dogs in it. The moral of this book is about perseverance and friendship, which teaches me about not giving up when things are tough, and the importance of trust and relationships with people and animals. Thank you.
Thank you, Michaela. Good job. So before we conclude our presentation night, we first want to give a huge thank you to our PTA and MEF. I know Millbrae, we may have a small district, but our parent community is absolutely huge, and we would not be here without the support of our parents. So PTA, MEF, and Dad's Club. So our first photo right there is just of the PTA welcoming us back with a welcome breakfast. Next, we just started Music for Minors, which is also funded as well through MEF and La Garza. MEF has, Music for Minors, they go by MFM. They have started for the last couple of weeks with teacher Nick, and it's been wonderful. He's been utilizing the library as well to do music lessons. And again, we have a really great PE program as well that the students continue to love. And also, last but not least, PCBA, the Peninsula Chinese Business Association, another great, wonderful organization that has provided so much funding to our schools as well as our library. Oh, look at that. We have a visitor. Oh my, all the way from the Spring Valley Stables. Hello, this is our star stallion. Wait, what is that? Hi. Oh, wait, what do you, oh, okay. So our star stallion wanted to invite our board members to our brown bag lunch on October 18th. It's at 11:30 a.m. Please bring your lunch. You can also get a lunch from our cafeteria. Please talk to Rachel Geekas. But yes, anything else, star stallion? And also thank you everyone for coming out, and that our student speakers were wonderful. Thank you. Oh, we're gonna do, we have to do the Star Stallion chant. We will absolutely do that right after. We're gonna do some thank yous first. Thank you, let's hold tight real quick, all right? Thank you, Magda, for helping out with. So real quick, we wanna thank, first and foremost, our Spring Valley staff. Not only is our staff extremely hardworking, but they're extremely dedicated. And I feel so extremely fortunate and lucky to be at a school with a staff that cares so much about their students, and has also always given me so much support and also encouragement every single day. And then last but not least, our students, Millbrae students, we truly have the best students here. Everything we do is for you all, and we really appreciate you all always coming to school every single day and working hard. Before we do our chant, can I have Knox, Phillip, Jaden, and Mason come up? So after tonight, we want to remind our board members and also both our CBO, Ralph Crane, and Superintendent, Miss Lisa Hickey, that you're also a Star Stallion. So we would like to give you all those. So go ahead, you can hand it out to them. So please take this as a token of our thankfulness to you all for all your support. And if you want to wear this also on October 18th to our brown bag lunch, you're more than welcome to. All right, so without further ado, at the end of every single Spirit Assembly, thank you, Mason, we always do our Star Stallion chant. So I'd like to invite up, and I do want to say this because I keep on saying this, we have a record number this year. I would like to invite up all of our valets. This year we have 28 fifth grade valets, the largest number we've ever had. So I would like our valets, go ahead and meet me on the stairs. All right, so we're gonna do this like we always do every single month, at the beginning and at the end. All right, we're gonna do our Star Stallion chant. All right, 1, 2, 3, and T A R star. S T A R star. Star Stallion. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming down today to our spotlight. Thank you, ballets, and thank you so much, everyone, again. All right, thank you, Star Sally, for coming out on tonight's hot weather. Please get some rest.
Please, Principal Hwee, please let your star stallion, or what's your stallion's name?
This is Star.
Star.
The Star.
But let him know that next time we'll have some hay.
Okay,
for him, 'cause
awesome.
we only have cookies for the students, okay? That was amazing, yay, again. I think the trustees would love to say a couple of words. So Trustee Barbara.
Holy moly. I mean, what a presentation. You know, that was great. And thank you to the students that got up to speak, because that takes a lot of courage to get up and speak like you did. Reading is so important. If you can't read, you can't learn, and we know that. So that was just spot right on. And I just wanted to say to the PTA for doing the job that they did with the library. You know, the library, we spent, Maggie Musa and Karen Chin and I are all from Spring Valley. We're PTA parents at Spring Valley. So that this Spring Valley PTA elevated us to the school board, actually. That's what it happened to the three of us. And we did a lot of good things. So you did a great service to your school and your kids to fix that library up and get those kids back in there reading. So that's super duper. Gordon, you're a star in our school district. I get so excited when we're having a spotlight with schools, but I extremely get excited when Spring Valley's coming. You know, so thank you for your service. So thank you, Stallions. Go Stallions.
Okay, Trustee Musa.
I thought she was going to. Anyway, Spring Valley, you guys are amazing. Thank you for another great presentation. But actually what really makes it wonderful is all the kids and being involved part of it. And seeing kids is what makes us happy, because everything that we do on this board and with the principals and our staff is to make it the best experience that you guys can have. And I have to say, Philip, that book that you read, I'm still reading it. So thank you for not giving me the ending. Anyway, what is it? The books just brought memories back to me, because I remember them reading those books with my kids. So I know a lot of kids don't like reading, but reading should be fun, can be fun. If you pick the right book, but there's so many different genres, so many different things that you can read. If you pick whether adventure or, whatever it is that you like to read, just pick something that you like and you just love reading. And it's really important, like we said, you learn through reading. And so it's so important. As an adult, I don't go to school, but I love reading books. That's my quiet time. So it's not a chore. Don't look at it as a chore. Look at it as something. You learn a new adventure. You learn to use something always from reading. So, and as for the library, that library has been through so many different things over the years, especially when we lost our libraries. And it's wonderful to see. Thank you, parents, for stepping in and making it into, again, some sort of a library thing. Because it's so important when the kids, and I think elementary, to take that book and take it home. And it's so proud, and it's so much fun to take it home and have something to enjoy and take it back and get something else. So thank you for bringing it back. And it's just wonderful to see that happen. It's the best thing that you can do for the kids at Spring Valley. So other than just tablets and computers, it's nice to have the, and I still this day, I can't use my tablet for books. I love to hold a real book and read it. It's really important. Again, thank you, parents. Thank you, staff. The Spring Valley staff, you're awesome. Thank you for everything you do for our children every single day. So.
Trustee Beltrami.
That was a really wonderful presentation. I am so impressed with the student speakers. Philip bringing up the plot points and the details of the book was just excellent. And Michaela, kudos for you for bringing your own cheering section back there. I'm really impressed. You got kids holding up signs. I mean, it's just the positivity in this group is just amazing, and it just pleases me so much. Being that I am also a Spring Valley parent, my daughter went to Spring Valley also. So it really has a fondness in my heart for this school. I'm just totally amazed of what's going on in the library. I know firsthand it needs a lot of attention, and that's great. You're getting out there and fixing it up. And thank you, parents, for making that become a really positive part of the students' school day now. Libraries have gone in the wayside with what's, technology and everything else coming to the forefront. So seeing that library, revitalized and brought back is just wonderful. So thank you so much. And then I know really quick, this is my last comment from trustees. I just want to shout out to two past students, Becky Liu and Ian Lim. They are juniors at Mills High School, and those students have done the Relay for Life last weekend. They were the chair people and they ran the whole show. So I want the students to realize that you are so capable of so many wonderful things in your lives. Our students in Millbrae are the best. So congratulations to all of you.
Yeah, ditto on all. I just wanted to add a couple more things. Philip, yes, I read the book. It's amazing. Good choice. And Michaela, Island of the Blue Dolphins has been around for a long time and on the book list all over the place. There's something about reading to a child, and I'm going to say something to my kindergarten friends out there, kindergarten teachers, TK. I always would say to parents that there's no better way to read to a child is, the best way to read to a child is hip to hip. So you sit with a child right next to you, hip to hip, and you share a book together. And that is just so, so powerful. And if parents have the opportunity to read hip to their kids, they're gonna miss it once that goes away. Also, I just wanna shout out to our Rotary Club for providing books to our third grade students, dictionaries. And when, books kind of took the background to computers and everything, the Rotary Club continued to gift all the third graders a dictionary every year so that children could have a book in their hands and take it home. It's wonderful to see that our libraries are coming back and to see volunteers coming to read to kids. I mean, that's amazing. Kudos to all of you for that. Yeah, I'll be there for sure. I mean, that's the most fun thing to do. The other thing I wanted to mention is that it's pretty obvious that with 28 valets at Spring Valley, you give new meaning to safety first. So I applaud all of you for putting safety first at your school, loud and clear. So that's wonderful. And lastly, I want to say that any principal that will take a bucket of water on his head is okay with me. So congratulations. And because we love our students so much, we have special treats for all of you. So we're going to take a little short break. Are we going to? Sure, sorry, Superintendent Hickey.
Thank you, Mr. Cray. That was a wonderful presentation. When I was in first grade, I went to Franklin Elementary, but my babysitter her daughter went to Spring Valley. So every single morning, we would drive down the hill in her van, and I would get dropped. She would drop off her daughter at Spring Valley, and then she would take me over to Franklin. So I have quite fond memories of being an elementary student myself, and every single morning I went by Spring Valley. But I never had the opportunity to actually see Spring Valley, with the exception of being in the parking lot. And so now I am just honored to be able to go to that wonderful school and see all the amazing things that you are doing. When I go there, I think you valets are probably, you're younger and you can keep up with Mr. Hwee, but when I go there, I can't keep up with Mr. Hwee. He's all over the place. And he just kind of goes and I say, don't worry, I'm just behind. But I had the opportunity to be there for lunch duty last week and see how that was going. And see the new shade structure. And then I had the opportunity to also be at the Fall Family Picnic and got to watch Mr. Hwee get not just one bucket of water. You have a lot of students with good arms because there were many buckets of water. The good thing it was a warm day. So I just want to thank you, and I will make a commitment to making sure I read to every class at some point this year. So I will be emailing the volunteer@springvalleypta.org.
And just really quickly, we have our valets later before they grab their snacks. We also have everything to pass out. So we want to make sure all of our guests know they're also a Star Stallion as well. So all the adults here will also be getting a Star Stallion bracelet as well tonight. So we're going to hand those out. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take a short break, and please come up to the table over here, and we'll pass out some cookies. All right, we're going to get back to our agenda. Spring Valley sure knows how to clear a room. Goodbye, Mr. Hwee. You're not going to stay? You have to take the stallion home, right? There you go. Thank you.
Good one. Yeah, that was a perfect answer.
Okay, we're going to move on to trustee communication and comments. I think we had quite a few, but is that okay? Do you have anything else you want to add? Anyone? Well, we're going to turn it over to our superintendent for her update.
You can click it again. One more time. All right, so I'm just, yeah, maybe. I just want to kind of highlight some of the school community building activities that have happened in the last couple of weeks. So Lomita Park had their Aloha dance, and thank you, Trustee Ferrario, for a couple of these pictures, but I was there at the beginning to take a picture as well. So just a fun time for the students to dance and eat food, and it was a nice welcoming beginning of the year activity. And then next slide. Last Tuesday, Meadows had their International Food Fair. It was a really warm night, so it was nice to have everything outside. And then, of course, I put this in the Monday memo, so, and I did get permission from Principal Hwee that showed just for the most part, any family who donated the PTA ask got a ticket, and they had that opportunity to dunk their principal. Okay, and then I just wanted to talk a little bit about, I think I mentioned this before, but the Stop It Anonymous reporting. And this is something that is a county initiative, but it was launched at Taylor right after spring break last year. And the idea is that there's signs in every classroom, there's a really big banner at Taylor, and if a student needs help or they are feeling unsafe, they can scan the QR code and just report something. And so far, Taylor has received 5 reports. You know, one thing we will say, and I think this is a positive, we love middle schoolers, but you never know, right? When you have anonymous reporting, we did expect maybe a few reports that were maybe just fake or funny, and knock on wood, they have not received any of those. But they have been able to really respond well when a situation has come up. And there have been a couple situations that have come up after hours. And if they come up after hours on the weekend, not only does Taylor administration get notified, but Mr. Horn and Ms. Waslev at the district office get notified as well as county employees. So it is just kind of the whole community monitoring it. And I will say that I was at a San Mateo County Office of Education breakfast, and it was a Safe Schools Coalition breakfast, and it was just yesterday. And Taylor administration team was used as a model example of how a recent situation was handled. It was a student who was scared because another student, there was a threat of maybe him being beat up, and he was scared to come to school. But it showed an example of Principal Zlatnich responding to the student over the weekend, coming up with a plan for him to feel safe. She even called the district office, and we were able to just provide some extra support at dismissal time on the Monday after school. I think because it was handled so well that we were all there ready to give extra, and we did give extra supervision, but it was taken care of. But I think it's just a real testament to, this was a breakfast of probably over 150 people. Every single San Mateo County superintendent was there, law enforcement was there, and they actually put up an example of just the dialogue back and forth between administration and students. So I wanted to highlight that. And then it is already October 1st, and so I just thought, and I don't have the Spring Valley lunch up here, but we'll add that to the calendar on October 18th. But we have International Walk to School Day on October 9th. We do have our elementary conferences coming up, and so there will be a 1:15 dismissal for, it looks like a long time, but it is 7 days, because on Monday, October 14th is a non-student day. In addition to that, there is a Taylor dance and some trunk or treats that are happening on October 25th, and then on the 26th, another trunk or treat, and then of course we have Halloween on October 31st. So that's my report for tonight.
Thank you. Lots happening. Okay, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second. Trustee Barbaro, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. So now we're going to move on to district business. Superintendent Hickey.
All right, so this is a resolution we have, resolution number 2425-04, and it is regarding sufficiency of instructional materials. I know that we will go into a public hearing if there's anyone who wanted to comment on that, but before we do that, I am going to read the resolution aloud. So, whereas the governing board of the Millbrae Elementary School District, in order to comply with the requirements of Education Code Section 60119, held a public hearing on October 1st, 2024, which is before the 8th week of school and which did not take place during or immediately following school hours. And whereas the governing board provided at least 10 days' notice of the public hearing, posted in at least 3 public places within the district, and stated the time, place, and purpose of the hearing. And whereas the governing board encouraged participation by parents, teachers, members of the community, and bargaining unit leaders in the public hearing. And whereas information provided at the public hearing and the governing board at the public meeting detailed the extent to which textbooks and instructional materials were provided to all students, including English learners in the Millbrae School District. And whereas the definition of sufficient textbooks or instructional materials means that each pupil has a textbook or instructional materials or both to use in class and to take home. And whereas sufficient textbooks and instructional materials were provided to each student, including English learners that are aligned to the academic content standards and consistent with the cycles and content of the curriculum frameworks in the following subjects: mathematics, science, history, social science, English language arts, including the English language development component of an adopted program. Whereas sufficient textbooks or instructional materials were provided to each pupil enrolled in foreign language or health classes, and now therefore be it resolved for 2024-2025, the Millbrae Elementary School District has provided each pupil with sufficient textbooks and instructional materials aligned to the academic content standards and consistent with the cycles and content of the curriculum frameworks.
Thank you, Superintendent Hickey. I'm going to open the public hearing. And seeing no public comment, I'm going to close the public hearing. So this is an action item. It's recommended that the Board of Trustees approve Resolution 242504 as presented. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second? All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we have an approval of the 2024-25 consolidated application. Superintendent Hickey?
Thank you. I'm going to have our CBO, Mr. Crane, speak about this item.
Thank you.
Thank you, President Ferrario and fellow trustees. So this is an annual approval of the board for the consolidated application, and the purpose of this application is for the district to declare its intent to apply for funding for consolidated categorical aid programs. These include Title I, Title II, Title III, and Title IV funding for categorical aid and additional funding for the school for specific populations and needs of the students. So this application in front of you is to do that and to declare our intent that we will be applying for this additional funding for the district. So it is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the 24-25 consolidated application as presented in the documentation.
Thank you, CBO Crane. This is an action item. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Second.
Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, number 3, the approval of Scout House Wi-Fi for ELO-P, ELO-P. Superintendent Hickey, is that you or?
Well, I am going to kick it off and let our Director of Educational Technologies just say a couple of words and give some background about the need for having Wi-Fi in the Scout House, and this is specifically at Taylor Middle School for the after-school program.
Wonderful, thank you. Jeff Horn, come on up.
Thank you, Superintendent Hickey. Thank you, President Ferrario. Thank you, trustees. The approval of the Scout House Wi-Fi. So I'm going to read. The Scout House is currently being used for the Taylor ELO-P program, but it does not have access to the MESD network. In our past meeting, you approved Chromebooks to be used for the program, but of course, they don't have access to the Wi-Fi that we provide in the Scout House. The MESD network has specific filtering required by law, and we are proposing to extend our MESD Wi-Fi via an over-the-air building-to-building bridge to the Scout House building. This solution cuts down on cost by avoiding any trenching and direct wiring. It also is flexible and can be easily removed from the Scout House and repurposed if needed in the future. We received multiple responsive bids for this project. The lowest bid was from Portola Systems, which is the one in front of you. It is recommended the Board of Trustees approve the quote as presented. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay, this is an action item. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
A second?
A second?
Any discussion? Any questions about or comments? Sure.
So a little history on the Scout House. You know, it was a fire hazard a long time ago. And the kids would go up on the roof and they would set the roof on fire and the fire department would come up, they'd put it out, you know, and I remember the school district, we did a walkthrough and we opened up the inside and we were amazed to see that there were people living inside there. They were there on the weekends and they had a coffee table set up and they had empty beer cans and they had all their ashes from their cigarettes and so forth. A lot of other things that were, I don't even want to mention right here. And we were shocked. And then our former trustee, Dennis Fama, got together with the community and got a bunch of contractors and people to pitch in time and effort and about $100,000 to fix that up. And so here we are today, and we're putting Wi-Fi in there. Great. Super duper. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Barbaro. Trustee Musa.
Yeah, just one comment or question that you, just to piggyback on something you said, that the Scout House belongs to the city, correct? And so you mentioned something about if, like, at one point we don't use that space for the Happy Hall, we pull out this, we can repurpose it, meaning that you can use the same equipment. You don't have to pay that fee again and use it somewhere else.
That's correct. Yeah,
Okay.
the intention behind it was because we know it's not our building, we didn't want a solution that was 100% permanent, you know, trenched in and wired in. We wanted a solution that could be flexible, but can be as permanent as we need it for as long as we need it to be.
So it's wired? I mean, you are doing wiring, like?
There
or
is, yes.
Is it wireless?
There's wiring off the edge of the A building, outside of classroom A7 on the exterior where that chain link fence is.
Okay.
And then essentially, like, it's kind of, it's pretty cool, actually. It's like, kind of like a satellite dish thing.
Yeah.
So it's about 65 feet. It has great line of sight. So one end of the A wing has the one dish, and then the Scout House will have the other dish. And then from that dish, it does wire into the building. So it prevents that 65 feet of trenching and wiring. And it does provide some additional security as well, because there is no direct wire to our network from a building that we don't really have control over. So there is
Right.
some network security side of that, which is also beneficial.
Great, so it's probably cost savings.
It is a
I mean,
cost savings
yeah,
for
okay,
sure,
So you
yes.
don't have to drill wires and stuff.
Absolutely,
That's
yes.
awesome, thank you.
Yeah,
Nice.
thank you.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you, Jeff, for researching that. That was, heads up, that was great. Thank you. I was trying to visualize some wire going from one building to the other. That's
Could I
yeah,
just ask
yeah.
the timeline, though, Mr. Horn, about when, if this is approved, about when we think that the project would be complete?
a great question. I have not spoken to our vendor. Like I said, we received multiple responsive bids, so our vendor that we have selected to present tonight, I know they're planning on doing some work in our district in October anyway. I'm hoping that we can tack this project on, but because it is similar personnel on both projects, so they'll already be mobile on site. However, I don't know for sure when the equipment will arrive. Some of the equipment, specifically that satellite dish thing, has been back ordered, so there could be a lead time on equipment. My goal would be to finish this no later than winter break, because we know that winter break, they will be utilizing some of those spaces as part of the extended ELO-P program.
And we realize that the importance of it being on our own network, but I do want to clarify that students are in there, do they have access at all to?
Right now, they have been using the city's own Wi-Fi. However, Happy Hall and our students have expressed that it's not quite up to par with what we provide during the school day and our normal campuses. And of course, it lacks some of that filtering that's required. So we like the idea of providing our own network. They also had issues because of the proximity of the A-Wing. The Chromebooks know to look home for the Wi-Fi, so it would drop off the city's Wi-Fi and try to reconnect, but it's too far away. So it's just enough to see it, but not quite enough to get a good signal. So that was creating some frustration for the students as well.
Okay. This is an action item. Do I have a motion? I think we have a motion and a second, so now I'm going to call for the vote. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, so now we are moving on to board governance. We have a revised administrative regulation. Is this just this is not a action item, I don't think. Just
It
discussion?
actually
Number
is
one?
an action item, and CBO Cream can give you some background.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, thank you. So this is a change in board policy that we're bringing about because of recent changes in the Government Accounting Standards Board. So GASB has recently issued new lease accounting standards for capital leases, that's GASB 87, and subscription-based information technology arrangements, which is GASB 96. The amendment to the Administrative Regulation 3460, Financial Reports and Accountability, that's the title of the section we're suggesting for revision, will comply with the requirements of these new standards. The goal of the lease accounting and subscription-based information technology arrangements standards is to more accurately portray lease obligations and increase the usefulness of governmental financial statements. Note the policy's effective date will be retroactive to cover the entire 23-24 fiscal year. This is something we worked with our auditors on and took language and looked at other board policies in neighboring districts, particularly San Mateo Union High School District, and looked at their threshold. And so the threshold that we are recommending that we include in the new language is $500,000, which would mean anything below $500,000 would not be needing to be reported per GASB regulations. So anything over the $500,000 threshold that is a lease obligation or a information-based technology arrangement, so those are subscriptions to all the technologies that we utilize, whether that be our student information system or the curriculum that students use, or Parent Square communications and things like that. If that's not over $500,000, then we wouldn't report it per GASB regulations.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second? Second. Do we have any discussion on this? Trustees, any discussion? We're okay? All right, so now I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, possible future agenda items. And I don't know if there are any possible future agenda items that the trustees would like to bring up at this point.
Just the usual, we have the department updates. I'm sure you'll have those.
Yeah, so maybe I can just give you a little summary of what we have planned for the near future. On October 15th, we just met with PBK Architects, and so they will be presenting the finalized version of the facilities master plan. So that will be a presentation on October 15th. And then looking ahead in November, we have 2 meetings. The first one being, I believe, November 7th. That's a different day on Thursday, if you recall that we changed that date so that we did not have a board meeting on election day. We'll have our school spotlight of Lamita Park. And then at that time, we also hope that our CAS scores will be released to the public. So we'll be presenting that to you, as well as in November, as we are working on the big lift. We are creating a literacy plan, and Ms. Waslev, our Director of Educational Services, will give you an update on the big lift and the progress there. So that's kind of what we have planned for the next couple of meetings.
Wonderful. You guys are busy out there. Okay, anything else for the good of the cause?
Just one more question.
Yes, Trustee Musa.
So I've been hearing that, like, with the new adoption of math that's coming in, a lot of schools are doing like professional development coaching or bringing coaches to schools and to kind of figure out, teach teachers how to implement the new curriculum in math, how to administer it in the classrooms. So I'm just wondering, is there conversations about that in terms of how we're gonna help our teachers kind of, you know, use their new?
I'm going to invite Ms. Waslev up to answer that question.
So we've had, good evening, everyone. We've had ongoing professional learning opportunities. We call them office hours with our illustrative math pilot. So that's been ongoing. We have another one coming up in a couple weeks. So we have our pilot adoption committee teachers, not everybody, not all staff. It's a select group of teachers that are piloting the illustrative math. And also Superintendent Hickey and myself will be meeting with Carolyn Levitt. She's our Reveal McGraw-Hill representative that will be piloting their curriculum in the spring. So we're going to be meeting with her in a couple weeks. So it's an ongoing process that we're working through.
So we're looking for a curriculum, but eventually we'll do some kind of a professional development for or some sort of a coaching for the.
Yeah, so the coaching is ongoing.
Is
so
it?
Basically,
Okay.
it's through, we're doing it through Zoom. We actually have representatives. We did the launch in person, so they got hands-on professional learning, and then ongoing, it's been sort of through Zoom with a Q&A, kind of troubleshooting, and then I'm available to come out and help support, teachers when they reach out. We had some missing items, so I've been delivering, and so have our reps been delivering the illustrative math units and books and additional curriculum items up until this date. Now we're fully functioning and we're hitting the ground running, and everything's going very smoothly right now. So we'll reconvene and kind of see where we are and then move forward with the reveal in the spring.
Awesome, thank you.
And I think I would just want to point out, because our goal is in the spring to make a recommendation for adoption for our math curriculum. And then it will be Ms. Waslev and I kind of planning in terms of the rollout, because then it will affect all of the elementary teachers. And we realize that professional development in a one-time approach is not effective. And so, of course, in next August, we'll want to do some professional development to get started, but we'll want to create ongoing. And the idea of the pilot teachers who've had some experience of it with the curriculum, and they can coach the teachers, because everyone will be moving forward with that adoption at the beginning of the 25-26.
That was my question for you two ladies, is which schools are doing the pilots and what grade levels?
All schools are doing the pilots at various grade levels at various schools. We have probably the majority of the teachers coming from Meadows. However, we do have representation across our elementary schools.
Okay.
I wanted to also add that right now we're going through a little bit of growing pains with this, the new pilot, just because we'd had Eureka for quite some time here in Millbrae. And so we were accustomed to sort of the Eureka way, right? And the shift to illustrative is really, it's more, I would say, a collaborative approach sort of to thinking about your math thinking and having conversations around math. And it's a different way of looking at teaching math. And so along with that comes some struggles Some struggles more, I'd say, probably with staff in the teaching of the math, right? So if the teachers are struggling a little bit, they're going to feel that, and they're going to perhaps be a little resistant to a new way of thinking about math, but we're working through it, and the illustrative folks have been great partners and very helpful in offering their support along the way. So we'll see how it all comes out.
How are the kids doing?
I think the kids are doing great. You know, there's no specific rules to a pilot. You just do your best and you try, and we are supporting along the way as an Ed Services department, so.
Yeah, because I know when we brought in Eureka, that was hard on not only the kids, the parents. Trying to do Eureka math at home was just not, So,
And perhaps,
the Eureka way, yeah. I'm so glad that it's going away. But anyway, yeah, good luck with that.
and perhaps if teachers are having, you know, some struggles leaving the Eureka way, they can be more empathetic to the students
Yes.
who will be having struggles as well.
Yes.
Exactly, yes, exactly.
Win-win.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are going to adjourn our meeting. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Meeting's adjourned.